is Martha Suen, co-chair of COMPASS Symposium. She, alongside Roland, whom you have met, they are both co-chairs, and they have played a pivotal role in guiding the vision and direction of today. And we are so delighted to have here close. Are you happy to hear that? Close for today. So please give, this is the last speech, give her a resounding welcome.
Good afternoon, distinguished speakers, panelists, collaborators, and friends. As a social mission arm of the Catholic Church in Singapore, Caritas Singapore serves the community through a network of over 20 charitable organizations. Together, we are dedicated to uplifting the vulnerable and fostering a more compassionate and inclusive society. To further this mission, we designed the COMPASS series, the one that you're at today, as a collaborative platform for knowledge exchange and capacity building, just like this symposium, that creates space for informed dialogue, shared learning, and meaningful connections across sectors. For our inaugural symposium today, we have chosen to focus on our youth, while in the near future, it could be about other areas of shared concerns. But for today, the theme is the silent struggle. We continue to observe rising concerns of our youth facing challenges in mental health and addictions. Indeed, in a world deeply connected by technology and artificial intelligence, many of our youth remain isolated in their struggle. There is an urgent need for immediate and unwavering attention. As we come to the close of COMPASS 2026, I'd like to invite us to pause, not just to reflect on what we have heard, but on what we have experienced together. Today has taken us through a journey. We began by understanding the silence, recognizing that many youths struggle in ways that are not always visible, shaped by pressures, environments, and experiences that are often more complex than they appear. Addressing this, therefore, requires more than access. It calls for early detection, coordinated ecosystem support, and trauma-informed, youth-centric approaches. We were reminded also that this is a long game, and it is important for workers to pay attention to one's own well-being. We then move on to panel 2, when we heard what it means to live through the struggle, through the realities of addictions and behavioral challenges, the weight of stigma, and the difficult, often non-linear path of recovery. We heard about how, while the decline might be swift, recovery is gradual, with possibilities of relapses being very real. It's a journey that calls for resilience, compassion, spirituality, and the collective support of community and professional care. These stories remind us that behind every behavior is a deeper need, and behind every young person is a story that deserved to be understood. Through the breakout sessions, we went deeper into two important areas: substance and behavioral disorders. These discussions grounded us in the practical realities of intervention, from identifying early warning signs to supporting recovery over time, and reminded us that while the forms of addiction may differ, the underlying needs for connection, support, and purpose remain deeply similar. And finally, in the panel that we just had the privilege of listening to, we explored what it means to stand together in support and to create an environment safe enough for our youth to share their stories of pain and to understand the functions of their behaviors. We look at the wider ecosystem of care, the role of families, practitioners, communities, and the importance of sustaining support. We learn that recovery is strengthened through the youth's entire support system, and the importance of upstream efforts in building relationships, and in support safety net for families. Now, across all these conversations, one message comes through very clearly, now at least for me: there is no single solution and no one pathway. Supporting youths facing mental health and addiction challenges requires more than just programs or policies alone. It calls for early identification, coordinated responses, and strong partnerships across systems. But beyond that, it calls for something deeply human: consistent relationships, trust, and the willingness to walk alongside a young person, even when progress is slow or uncertain. We've also been reminded that recovery is not simply about stopping a behavior. It is about helping a young person rebuild a sense of identity, belonging, and purpose, so that they can begin to see a future that is meaningful and worth working towards. And in doing so, we must not forget those who journey with them: caregivers, families, and practitioners, who often carry unseen burdens of their own. Therefore, supporting them is not secondary to our work. It is integral. Now, each of you here is a part of this ecosystem that we have spoken so much about today. Whether you're working on the front lines, shaping programs, supporting families, or influencing system and policies, your role matters. And this work is not easy. It requires patience, resilience, and at times the courage to navigate difficult tensions between care and accountability, between intervention and respect, and between urgency and the reality that changes takes time. And yet, despite these challenges, there is also reason for hope. There is hope in the fact that so many of you are here today and stay through till about 3 o'clock soon. Yeah? There is hope that all of you here are committed to learning, to reflecting, and to doing this work with greater intention. There is hope in the partnerships that are being strengthened and in the quiet persistence to keep showing up, and in the belief that every small shift in practice can make a meaningful difference in a young person's life. Now, as we leave today, perhaps the invitation is not to look for a single answer, but to reflect on our own role within this shared mission. What might we do differently starting tomorrow? Who do we need to work more closely with? And how can we better create spaces where young people feel seen, heard, and supported, especially those who are still struggling in silence? COMPASS, as a platform, is meant exactly for these reflections and conversations to reach beyond today, potentially into many other areas that need our shared care and attention. On behalf of the organizers at Caritas Singapore, I would like to once again extend our sincere thanks to all our speakers, panelists, and facilitators for your generosity in sharing your insights and experiences. And to all of you, thank you for your presence, your engagement, and for the important work that you continue to do every day. We hope that today's conversations are not an endpoint, but part of an ongoing journey, one that we continue together across our different roles and sectors. Let us continue to stand together so that no young person has to struggle alone, and every young person has the opportunity to find hope, healing, and a sense of purpose. Thank you, and have a good afternoon.